Hello friends, welcome to our channel Exploring Things Around and our course Learn C Programming A to Z. So today we'll learn more about decision control structure. So before we start, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please click on subscribe button. And so far we have learned about sequential instructions, we have learned about type declaration and arithmetic instructions, we learned and we also created interest calculator in our previous sessions where we implemented type declaration and arithmetic instructions. We also learned about keywords related to type declaration like char, float, double, int, and we also learned about size modifier of these variables like short and long, and some keywords related to functions like void and return. So as we know, in sequential control instructions, a program gets executed line by line. So in any programming language by default, each line gets executed by line by default. But what if we need to perform some set of activity only if some condition gets satisfied? So for example, if uh, if the salary of a person is greater than some value, he need to get some different kind of hike, and if the salary is up to some different value, he should get different kind of hike. Or if a customer goes to a shopping mall and he purchases items of for example say 5,000, he should get discount like 10%, and if he buys item like say up to 15,000, he should get some different discount, for example 20%. So these kind of scenarios, if you need to handle, you can go for decision control statements. So there are three ways we can write these decision control statements. We can use if statement, we can use if else statement, we can use conditional operator, and we can also implement switch case statements. So to provide the expressions, so how happens in these cases? So we need to give the expressions. If those expressions get satisfied, statements after those will get executed. So they are relational expression, they are logical expressions to evaluate if the value is greater than equal to, not equal to, less than equal to. All these our relational expression. So we can see here x greater than y, x equal to y, s not equal to y, x less than y, x less than equal to y, x greater than equal to y. So these are our relational expression. So one thing to note here, if you need to check value of two variables are equal to, so you need to give two times equal to symbol. If you write only one time equal to, like x equal to y, so that is your assignment is a statement, that is not an expression to evaluate if the values are equal to. So just make a note of this point. And we have logical expressions like x and y, x or y, and not y. So these will check if the uh, and operation or not operation is returning true value or not. So whenever we get true value out of these expressions, statements next to that will get executed. So let's write a simple program to learn these concepts in more detail. So let me create a new source file, and what we can do, let's create a program where we'll check if the number entered by user is greater than 5 or not. Let's take that example. So we'll first write hash include studio dot h, so that we can get the standard input output header file. And let's right now void main, and we need to get input from user, one number from user. So let's create a variable number. Let's define that of integer type. So this is your type declaration instructions, because you are defining a variable number and you are giving the data type of that as integer. Let's give instructions to user. So we'll say enter a number, and we will tell you if that is greater than 5. So now let's keep prompt for user so that he can enter this value. So we'll call scanf. So we know these printf, scanf, these functions are defined under studio.h header file. So that is the reason we need to always include this header file, standard input output header file. So scanf, let's call scanf now. And since this number is of integer type, we'll use format specify as %d, and let's you say ampersand number. So now the value whatever user enters, that will get stored on the in the memory at the address of number variable. Now let's check. So we use keyword if, and after that in the braces we say we give our expression. So what we need to check, value entered number is greater than 5 or not. So we'll say number greater than 5, and next to that printf. So if this condition gets satisfied, we'll get output number is greater than 5. So we should be seeing this output if user enters a number which is greater than 5. So this is what compiler will do. If this condition gets satisfied, then only it will execute these statements, otherwise it will not execute. So let's save this. So let's say if demo program, let's define it of types as a C program. Let's save it. Now we'll compile it first. So we see we got one error. So let's check. We might have missed something. Okay, you see here, right? In rather than main, we have written money. So there are some typing mistake. Let's save it again and compile. So we should not be seeing any error now. Yeah, no error, no warning, and we can see our executable file is also created. As I explained in my earlier videos, you can also directly run this executable file from the path where it gets generated, and you can also run it from the ID. So let's run it from here for now. Let's wait for a moment. We should be seeing the results on screen, and you can see here till this part, this is your sequential structure. Each line will get executed line by line. Each instructions will get executed line by line. So first it will define this number data type, then it will print on screen this instructions for user, then it will prompt so that we can enter some value, and from here it will be your decision control instruction. So line number 11 will get executed only if line number 10 is true. So you can see here we got the prompt, we got the instructions first. Instructions got printed on the screen, enter number, and we'll tell you if the number is greater than 5. And now you can see this cursor. This is coming because of your scanf. So let's enter some number, for example, let's say 8, and click enter. So you can see number is greater than 5. Line number 11 got executed. Now let's run it again, and this time you will see line number 11 will not get executed. So I am entering number 3 which is less than 5. So line number 11 should not get executed because number greater than 5 condition is not getting satisfied. So you can see no output came. This line number is greater than 5 didn't get executed. So let's extend the same program. So what if the number is not greater than 5, we want to say we want to print like number is less than 5 or equal to 5. Okay, what if we have that condition? So there is another keyword else. So if the if statement doesn't get satisfied, it will cursor will go to else. So let's say in this case number is less than or equal to 5. So as you can expect from here, if the number entered is greater than 5, it will say number is greater than 5. If this condition doesn't get satisfied, it will come to else part, and it will print number is less than or equal to 5. We could have written this in the different way also, like if number is less than equal to 5, we could have used this way also. Then printf number is printf number is less than or equal to 5. We could have used this approach also, but as you can understand here, these two are mutually exclusive, so there is no need to write this if statement multiple times, because either this will get satisfied or this will get satisfied. So in this kind of scenario we can use else keyword. So let's use else keyword here and we'll see how it works. So let's save it now. We'll compile it again. You can see no error, no warning. Let's run again. So in this time, if the number is greater than 5, it will print number is greater than 5. Otherwise, it will print number is less than or equal to 5. So let's enter 2. You can see number is less than or equal to 5. So this was an example of using logical operator like greater than. Similarly, you can use different operators like greater than, equal to, all these operators you can use. So let's create a new program where we'll see if the number entered is odd number or even number. So let's open a new file and what we'll save it as odd even odd even identifier. Let's say it as odd even identifier program. Save it as a C source file. So again we'll start with hash include studio dot h void main. So let's create one variable integer number. Similar way, let's keep prompt for user. Please enter a number and we will tell you we will tell you if that is even or odd. Uh, Now let's write scanf. You can see percentage d, then ampersand number. So far we have got the input from user. So now if, so how do we know if the number is odd or even? We divide that by 2 and if we don't get any remainder, right? So that means that is even number. If we get remainder, then that means that is uh, your odd number. So let's create a variable for remainder and your and let's calculate it. So this will be your arithmetic operation. Remainder will be number and we use percentage operator for it. So this will return you remainder number percentage 2. This will divide number by 2 and whatever will be remainder that will get stored in this variable. So we'll calculate if remainder is equal to 0, we'll print number is even, else part we'll say number is odd. Let's save it and see if it works. Compile, no error, no warning. Now let's run it. So you can enter some number, let's say 5. You can say test number is odd. Similarly, let's run test it again for even scenario. I entered 6. and you can see the output as number is even. So this is how we can use if else statement for a number of scenarios. And if you have like more if else conditions, you can define that inside again, like for example else, and again you need to validate some condition, you can use if again, and after that again you can use else again. If you have some instructions, you can use else if, similarly else. These kind of structure you can follow. So this else if clause can be used in case of nested if else. If you have number of else if else conditions following, you can use if else if clause also. And let's take for example, if you need to if you have number of conditions and you need to check if all of those conditions get satisfied, then only you need to perform some activity. For example, if condition 1 that is true and condition 2 that is also true and condition 3 that is also true, these kind of expressions you need to validate, you can always use these logical operators and or. You can also use these operators. So this was a like these were some basic programs we implemented here. We can extend it to number of levels. We can use this to implement number of scenarios. And I hope you got the point here so far. So key takeaway from this is we learned about this, what is decision control structures. We implemented if else statement structure. We learned about else if clause, and we saw what are logical and relational operators. So if you liked our video, please don't forget to like it, share it, and subscribe it. You can support, if you like really our effort, you can support us by clicking on subscribe button. And if you have any question related to this session or our earlier session, feel free to put that on comment box. Thank you. Thanks for watching.